Hey everybody, welcome back to Bench Racing Network. Long time no see. I've been very busy with work and a lot of travel, a lot of big projects going on at work that are sucking up a ton of time. So haven't really had a chance to do much in the shop, let alone do stuff in the shop and make videos about doing stuff in the shop. However, I did recently pick up a new project that I want to show you and we'll talk about real quick. We got a boat. This may have been a mistake, we'll find out, but it is a 1956 Feathercraft Vagabond 2. It's a Vagabond because it's about 15 feet long, the styling in the back. It's a Vagabond 2 instead of a Vagabond 1 because it has this step through here. The Vagabond 1's, this was just a solid and it had two separate driver and passenger compartments. I've known about these boats for a couple of years, been looking for one for about a year. Found this one on a cow farm in Indiana, like 8 hours away from home. $1,500, come get it was essentially the deal. So I went and got it. Really pretty tumble home styling on the back here, sort of very old school wooden boat runabout, reminiscent on that styling, which is the main reason that I wanted one. The Vagabonds seem to be pretty hard to find. There are Rangers that are like 80% similar, except this is a lower cut here, not quite as much of a roll up there. The Rangers also are more, not quite as rigid. On a Vagabond, these stringers here run all the way up as one continuous unit all the way to the front. The Rangers, it stops here in the back, and then there's just some kind of cross bracing up there. Rangers also do not have the amount of bracing in the transom area that the Vagabonds do. The Rangers generally have just one smaller brace here in the middle. The Vagabonds, depending on the year, have 2 or 3 or 4, or the later Vagabonds rather have one very large cast brace here. This is folded sheet metal. But yeah, that's sort of the key differences. Feathercrafts were built in Atlanta, Georgia, and then a subsidiary in, I think, Ontario, Canada, built some for the Canadian market. But all the Feathercrafts in lower 48 came out of Atlanta. And a lot of people that worked on these worked on building B-29s for Bell Bomber in Marietta during World War II. There was a lot of sheet metal manufacturing knowledge in that area after World War II. And a lot of smaller companies kind of popped up and pivoted that experience and expertise into making other things, other consumer goods. So yeah, right now I am just sanding away on this thing, trying to get 70 years of deep scratches and gouges out of it before I can really start polishing. I've had to start down with 60 grit in some areas, but 60 grit for the really, like right here, was super scraped up. Doesn't look too bad now, and I'll go back over it with 120, then 240, then 320, then 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Probably take the whole boat all the way up to 1,000 or 1,200 grit, and then we'll start polishing. I did sort of a test area back here on the transom. This is the finish that I'm going for across the whole boat. Hey, not mirror perfect, but pretty darn good. I mean, like, you can see a pretty deep reflection in there. The top side aluminum here, I'm not going to polish because it's this sort of anti-reflective coating. There's some areas where it's a little scratched up. It had this big, square, hideous 80s windshield on the thing, so I got to deal with that. A lot of these screw holes are going to be superfluous. I'll just pop rivets into there, clean that up a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to try and get the top side skin looking about like this, and then the rest of it will be polished. Other thing I'm on the hunt for, I did not have, this boat did not come with a motor. It's rated for 40 horsepower, but I'm looking for a vintage 40 to 45 horsepower motor, something from the late 50s, maybe the very early 60s. Outboards got very square looking in the kind of early mid 60s, real square and real blocky, which don't fit the look of this at all. So like a Johnson Seahorse, or one of the, like a Merc 400 or Mark 55. Really a Mark 55 is what I want, but they're sort of hard to come by. Anyway, I don't know anything about boats. We're learning as we go here. But I do know that I hate fiberglass work, but I don't mind working with sheet aluminum. So a lot of sanding, a lot of polishing. I'm also going to have to go through, the boat does leak pretty significantly, just from rivets that have loosened up over the years with the boat being in the water and flexing. Those rivets loosen up and do start to leak after a little bit. So I'm going to call a buddy, go through and just tighten all these up. Hopefully, if not make it completely watertight, which may be a fool's errand, at least slow the leak down significantly. I will be running a bilge pump in the back, but yeah, we'll see how good we can get it. But yeah, that's this winter's project. Hopefully it's fun and turns out to be enjoyable, and we can get some time on the lakes this summer. So thanks for watching. This is not going to be as near thorough of a video as the Amazon stuff was, just because there's not a whole lot. I mean, like, there's sanding, there's polishing, there's rivet tightening. That's about it. So yeah, don't expect dozens and dozens of videos on this boat. We'll probably only do 3 or 4, hopefully before we get to the completed project. But there's a vintage boat parade out on, gosh, I forget the name of the lake, but there's a vintage boat parade July 4th. That's kind of my a soft goal to get this thing ready for. And then obviously just enjoy splashing around on the water with the family. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll try and keep y'all updated on how this project's going. Take care, y'all.